Hello everyone and welcome to Vanessa's Vista. It's a beautiful day, so I thought, why don't I do this video on my patio? It's not very scenic, but as you can see, like I said, gorgeous, it's sunny, so we're gonna go for it. It usually doesn't take me too long to achieve my full makeup face. I would say about a half hour, which may be a long time for some folks, but for me, I really like to pay attention, especially to the eyes. So I'm going to take you from my foundation to the powder I use to set everything, and it starts right now. So number one, of course, is I was going to say number one is the foundation, but y'all will probably laugh at me. It wasn't until about a year ago that I've actually started using a primer. I know, it's like the number one makeup no, you always prime your face before you put your foundation on. So I use Too Faced Beauty Balm, and my color is Beach Glow. I don't know if you guys can see it. The one thing about these BB, and this is a BB cream, by the way. One thing about these BB creams is that there's not a wide array of colors. So I usually choose the darkest they have, and in this case for Too Faced Beauty Balm, it's Beach Glow. This works pretty well for me. I don't put a lot of the product on. I put enough just to give my face a nice coat so that the foundation actually has something to adhere to. And it works pretty well for me. Again, I love the idea of a beauty balm. I don't like to have a whole lot of products. I'll give you guys a sneak peek in my actual makeup bag a little later. But the one thing you will notice is that there's not a lot of products in there. So I keep everything pretty lean. Number one, because, I have to transport this with me every day, throw it in my bag, take it to work, bring it back home. So I don't like to lug around a whole lot of stuff. So if I can get one product and have 5 things that it does in one bottle, I'm all for it. Spectrum. It also tints, so if you don't feel like wearing foundation, if it's a Saturday or a Sunday and you just, want to be easy breezy, you can put this on without any foundation, and I love it. It actually blurs out some of the imperfections. So if you have a little area that's not as good as the other, you just put this on, and it obviously won't give you a full coverage, but it definitely makes it, a little less pronounced. Of course, you can put your little blush over top of it, and it gives you a nice glow as well. So this is my number one thing. Of course, after my moisturizer, I throw on my beauty balm. And up next is the foundation. You ladies out there, whether you're in TV or not, foundation is probably the hardest thing to find. It's like finding a soulmate. It takes a lot of trials and tribulations. You'll try I don't know how many brands before you find the foundation that works for you. For me, I went through so many. The last foundation I went through was actually MAC. I stopped using MAC because I noticed that it would break me out. I would get these little annoying like bumps, and it wasn't really a pimple, but it was just a bump. Didn't have a whitehead or anything, but I basically traced it back to the MAC foundation. So I discontinued it, and then I began a new hunt for another foundation. And I stumbled across Stila. Don't make fun of my bottle. I have worn this little foundation out. I have to restock. I'm probably going to have to get a new one in about probably 2 weeks. But as you can see, I am scraping it to the bottom. This stuff is great. It is a full coverage, stay all day foundation. And this is the really cute thing about it. It's a department store brand, so it's going to run you about maybe $30 to $40, but it's well worth it. It actually has a little concealer on top, so it's like a 2-for-1. You get the foundation, concealer comes right on top, doesn't get better than that. What I love about this, in addition to it being a stay all day foundation, is that it's not heavy. And this would actually, I guess, go under the HD foundation category. And what you will find in a lot of HD foundations is that there's a lot of chemicals in them. Of course, there's a lot of silicone in them. This is so light, and it doesn't have a lot of those other really harsh, abrasive chemicals in it. Of course, there are some in this, but I love that this goes on light. And, if you're going to wear a lot of makeup, you don't want to have the foundation be all thick and gross. And if you're wearing it all day, it gets in your pores. It's not a great feeling. And it obviously is not going to provide the best skin later in life. So I love this for a number of reasons, and that's probably why. It also gives you a nice dewy coverage and your skin looks healthy. It has a nice glow. It looks hydrated. So this honestly right now is my favorite foundation. And of course, you have to have concealer. I am a concealer fiend. I love concealer mainly because it breaks up it breaks up, number one, the foundation, and it also breaks up your complexion. So obviously your face is one color and the foundation serves as a blender, so it evens out your skin tone. Next is a concealer which highlights. So you don't want, you really, especially if you're going for TV makeup, you don't want your face to be all one color. So for me, I usually do a concealer that's about a shade or two lighter than my overall complexion. I would probably even say a shade or two or three lighter, because I really like to highlight and brighten underneath my eyes. So for me, I just use Sephora. This also is an HD concealer. Fairly cheap. It's not very expensive. It's not a MAC brand or a Bobbi Brown brand. And Sephora is pretty good with their products, of course, because they carry a lot of high-end department store products. The Sephora products are just as good. A little dirty. I used it this morning, but this is the Beauty Blender. I swear by this. And I think I was actually a couple years late on the beauty brand boat, but I did jump aboard and I absolutely love this. Even with my foundation, I actually will put my foundation on my hand, wet this, that is key. It has to be a moist beauty sponge. Dap that on my hand and I'll just put my whole face coverage foundation on there. Same thing with the concealer. Put a little bit on the tip. So the bottom is for your face, or your entire face. The top is for your under eyes and those, cool angles in your face that they're a little harder to reach. So I'll take this, put a little concealer on my hand, dab it in, and I'll just take this and go around my eyes. And what I love is that you don't actually see the change, like a stark change in your complexion. This just blends it out so it looks like it just kind of fades in. You don't want, okay, this is brown and then bam, this is a lighter shade. You want it to be very subtle and you want it to just blend. That's the whole point of great makeup applications, that you won't see any harsh lines when you do it the right way. And I have been able to achieve a lot of my on-air looks with the Beauty Blender. So this is really this is a mainstay. I always have to have my Beauty Blender. So take a little bit, go down the bridge of your nose and a little right here. And I put a little on my chin. Again, with my Beauty Blender. I'll do that, take it down my nose, and I'll even do like a little V kind of right above my eyebrows, and that's where I'll put my concealer, and that's where you really want to highlight. The whole point of highlighting is putting it on the areas that you want to stand out. So underneath the eyes, because it makes your eyes pop, and it also makes your eyes look awake so you don't look tired, especially if you have any dark lines underneath there. So that is key. So that really wraps up the foundation of my face before we start building and putting more color on. If you're looking for great coverage, if you're looking for a powder that just sucks the oil out and it keeps you from looking really shiny, especially if you do work in front of the cameras, Ben Eye is a great line for you, and it's one that I love, absolutely love. So since we left off with the concealer, we'll go to the Ben Eye Banana Powder again. Another huge trend that I think I actually was a little late on, but I am again glad I found it. Banana powder. I don't even know where to start with this product. Again, I am a drag queen at heart, and this, being a concealer lover, it amplifies everything on your face that you highlight. So what I love to do is I essentially trace all of the areas that I applied my concealer. So underneath the eye, on the bridge of the nose, on that V on the top of your forehead, underneath the nose, and that little area right on your chin, everywhere that I place concealer, I will take some banana powder. I'll usually, what you do is, it's very fine. So this may look like a little 1.5 ounce jar, but literally I will probably use this for the next 2 or 3 years. There's that much product in here. So I'll take it, I'll tap it, and I'll put a little bit of it into the tray. Take my lovely Beauty Blender, dab it in there, and I'll take the loose powder and I'll gently touch it underneath my eyes, and I'll take it down all those other areas I applied my concealer. And what I like to do is I'll let it sit. So you're gonna look a little crazy because you're gonna have these bright white raccoon eyes, but you want to let that powder cook, so to speak. So while the powder is cooking, that is when I will do my eye